Beat that entertainment.
Welcome back to another episode of BTE TV. Today we have on Mark Craycraft of Scioto County Daily News. Mark, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here. I've watched some of your podcasts. I like your setup here, kind of like Club Random a little bit with Bill Maher. I like your setup. I like your multi-camera angles. Your sound's good. Your editor's good. So yeah, it's good to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you. So, where you want to start off with?
I want to start out just getting to know you.
Oh.
Are you from here?
Yes, I was born at a very young age, and
Sorry.
But yeah, I'm from here. I was born and raised here down in Friendship, Ohio, which is on the west side down by the marina and golf course and all that. Graduated Portsmouth West High School, and then I did like they tell you, go get through school, go out of town, get a good job, don't come back except for Christmas time. So that's what I did.
What'd you start off doing?
I started off actually working for the telephone company, and worked for the telephone company, GTE is what it's called then, and then transferred with them to Marion, Ohio, which was actually a really nice town at one time. It's not now. But then from there, I've kind of been all over. I've enjoyed going to different cities and towns and experiencing different things. And sometimes I'd stay a couple of years, and sometimes I'd stay 5 or 6 years, And then in 2017, we bought a house and moved back here for permanent, for real. So that's, yeah.
So you got wife and kids?
I've got 5. We have 5 kids, yeah.
Just one wife?
Three. Yeah. Well, I have 5 kids. 3 of mine and 2. I call them bonus kids. I don't believe in. I just don't say never say step kid. 2 bonus kids, and 2 grandsons and 1 on the way. Next 6 weeks or so.
Congratulations. So you moved back here, you said 2017?
2017.
Were you already doing, so what you consider what you're doing journalism, right? Because I know you said you're a production guy, but
right.
So, but you do a lot of it.
Right. So I have a publishing company.
Okay.
So we do the Scioto County Daily News, and we have other aspects that we do, book publishing, songs. So it's several different things.
Multifaceted. Okay.
But the most popular, as far as around here, is the brand, the Scioto County Daily News.
So were you doing that? Well, I know you weren't doing Scioto County, but were you in journalism prior to moving back here?
Actually, I was a teacher, but I knew about a year ahead of time that I was coming back to Scioto County. So I was involved with. The first thing I started was Portsmouth, Ohio, jobs, and we started that, and then I got into the news aspect of it, local news, and then it just kind of built from there. So then once we got here in 2017, we already pretty well had our feet on the ground, and had some momentum, and then just built it from there, and to websites, and actually having reporters and then employees and contributors and moderators and all the things that come with that part of the business.
You ever been sued?
Have I ever been sued?
Yeah.
I have never been successfully sued.
Has anybody ever asked you to take something down and you said no? And then they file a lawsuit?
Well, no. So sometimes, our motto is report without bias and tell the truth without compromise. And so when you do that bit of telling the truth without compromise, sometimes it's not real pleasant. Sometimes it gets people in the wrong way. So we've gone through depositions and stuff like that. In fact, I had an attorney for another party that wanted me to disclose my sources, and I absolutely, under no circumstances, will ever disclose a source. This attorney from Columbus, which our law firm's in Columbus, so I don't know why they thought they would bully me, but anyway, this attorney says, you will show up on this court date and you will testify on behalf of the plaintiff. In other words, in this case, it would be the perpetrator of this situation. And I said, I will not. And they said, you need to come prepared to give your sources in a deposition. I said, I absolutely will not. I said, you cannot compel me to do that, right? They said, oh, yes, we can. We'll put you in jail. And I said, well, let's just go ahead and do that. Because my mugshot for protecting my sources, you'll make me a freaking legend. So I'll just go ahead. You want to meet me at the jail? Just bring your paperwork. Let's just go do it right now. Come on. I never heard from that attorney again.
Yeah, they was bluffing.
Yeah, we got the reason why we already told you, but we the release forms, we have those now because Natural Squirt and Mom decided she wanted to try to sue us because she squirts. And all we did was promote and was nice to her.
Are you pro squirt?
Oh, if they want to squirt, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But the fact,
you gotta throw a drop cloth down.
Do you have people sign release forms normally?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
didn't do that because we was thinking, like, why would you want to sue us whenever we're helping you out? You know what I mean? But then she took it upon herself to start a big war with us and run her mouth and want to put us in jail and all this. And
for talking.
Yeah, we didn't even. No, it wasn't even nothing. We said it was her.
For her words.
Yeah,
she said, I love that part.
She said shit, and all we did was release the video. And she agreed to everything. She watched it, promoted it, talked about how much she liked it, and then tried to sleep with me. Then once she tried to sleep with me, I was busy. Should have just did it. That's probably why she tried to
that's what it is. Retaliation for not, because you're well known.
Yeah, should have just punched it on her. Yeah. Yep. And she wanted to sue us and stuff, and it is what it is. Shout out Milky Tits or whatever she calls herself.
I don't know if we're still getting sued or not. I don't know if she
we don't
dropped
know if we're getting sued. Yeah. But we took down a video, which we reached out to a lawyer, and we was asking him, hey, can we still have this video out? Because we still want it to be out. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Just because you're pissed off because you said something,
right?
Oh, we did our jobs. You did what you did.
She had buyer's remorse, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing that I have noticed, and there are times we do articles and we don't mention names, and then in the comments on the social media, see our website business and our social media is completely different things. So in the comments on the Facebook, they'll out themselves, the people, and then turn around and blame us for putting them on blast, and we didn't say anything. And so then the word comes around, oh yeah, you said this about these people, and it was, it was the people in the comments that said their own, said their own thing. But if you actually look at the content of what we actually published, we never said boo. They outed themselves. So that's lots of fun.
Yeah, I remember actually, you one time made an article, and it was about me. It was which what you just said is exactly what happened. It said Bonnie and Clyde's wannabe bought a baby with drug money, and which that's not what happened though. Obviously the cops come and stuff, but I don't even know. Someone called the cops and said we bought a baby, and the cops was looking for me. The detectives was looking for me at a house that I didn't even live at. Then they ended up coming to my house and shit, and it all got settled and shit. But yeah, bro, it was like the weirdest thing. But then you guys made that article, and I was just like, what the fuck, bro? I was like, 'cause, you know what I mean? My name was
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It said Bonnie and Clyde wannabes.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that headline.
Yeah, that was about me.
So do you come up with all that yourself?
Well, we've got really talented writers, and as a publisher, I'm responsible for the final product.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've got really, really talented writers, and then with our video, Betty Smith, and she teaches the broadcast class with Wings of Hope down by the 14th Street Community Center. And so we do that, and that's why I said this is only the second interview I've ever agreed to do in 8 years. The first one being for the kids down at the Wings of Hope, with the young broadcasters class. So a lot of people, almost everybody knows my name, but outside of my immediate family, there might be 5 people that actually know me.
Right.
Yeah.
Greg made a good point a few minutes ago before you got here. He said that. Go ahead and explain that again about the TMZ thing.
Oh, so
everybody. This
you know,
is a really good point because, to be honest, I'm a really hated person. People don't come up to me or bash me on Facebook. You know what I mean? But I'm like, around town, I'm a hated person because I'm a real popular person. You understand what I'm saying? And I know that sounds terrible to say out loud. Me saying I'm popular. I am super. Everybody knows who I am. So
And you can have a house party pretty quick.
yeah. So whenever I'm out and everybody knows me. A lot of people talk about me and say stuff, but people don't bash me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they probably do it in private, but they don't do it. You know what I mean? On publicly. Yeah. But anyways, though, what I was gonna say is we posted a thing because I was wanting people to, you know what I mean, ask questions about, you know what I mean, that they wanted us to ask you. Same thing that we're gonna do next week for the guy I told you got coming on. And whenever I saw that, which I knew people hated you because I saw so many things, but in your line of work, like what he's about to explain, that comes with the job.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and let him explain this that way so people understand. Because whenever he said what he said, I was like, I mean, you're right. You're 1,000% right.
I was talking to my fiance about this
That's
earlier.
a big lead up, so you got a lot of
just put all this pressure on me.
Yeah.
I was talking to my fiance earlier, and I was explaining how like you're like the TMZ of here. You know, TMZ,
Right.
they have all the celebrity gossip, and everybody watches that celebrity gossip and loves it. The reason that everybody here hates you is because you do that to everybody here. If it was happening to other people, they wouldn't.
If you was
hate
doing it to celebrities, you'd be super popular. People would read all your content, all that. Because, like I said, you get stories right, but you put these twists on them. But that's what happens.
I think it's just the way you word stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the twist. Because, like I said, whenever I was explaining about what happened to me and the story that came out about me,
Bonnie.
yeah. So what happened was some lady called in and said that we bought a baby, which 1,000% didn't happen, but the cops still had to come and check it out.
Oh, sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So that the fact that did happen, you told the truth about that situation. That did happen. You mean the cops did show up to my house, but then it was like Bonnie and Clyde wannabes bought a baby with drug money. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if that was about a celebrity, motherfuckers would be really invested. But it was about myself, so I was like, man, fuck this guy. But then, like I said, at the time, though, it was like, I was like, bro, what the fuck?
All right, so you're exactly right. So our business model is very much TMC and the Daily Mail. They are very much our model. And when TMZ and Daily Mail, when they break news, it's almost always freaking right. And they'll break a story, and then 2 or 3 days later, you'll see it on mainstream media, and then they get the credit because it's got the little TMZ things, and then they're breaking news left and right. So, because of the way we've structured how we get our information and what comes in, then it comes directly from law enforcement through public information requests. So every morning, I send out a slew of public information requests for the previous day, and then they send the information back. From that, we create our writers create the articles. And sometimes in those reports, obviously it's a narration or a summary of what took place during that call. And so most of the time, and this is so true, if you want to do a real easy background check on anybody, go to our website and just type their name in our search bar, and
You've got it all there.
yeah. So if you're trying to date somebody for this, the first time, or hire somebody, just put their name in our search bar.
When you started out,
we've got such a catalog of this time, and we've got arrests going back to the 90s. So we've been able to look at trends and curves in local crime from the 90s. So we see spikes in different kinds of crime, different, and also different pockets of crime, and where the crime areas have moved.
I find that interesting.
Over the years.
Yeah, I'd like to analyze stuff like that. That's cool. So when you started out, did you plan on being like the TMZ of Scioto County?
Yes.
Oh, so this was like the model.
The business plan. Yes.
Okay.
So with that though, you know a lot of hate comes. Does the hate ever bother you? Like, cause I'm one of those people. A lot of times it don't bother me. Do you know what I mean? But then like when people are making up lies and fucking saying some wild shit, sometimes it pisses me off and I gotta respond. Like people, it usually don't happen, but I've recently got 2 different hate comments on a fucking video on our YouTube. And bro, I don't even know what the fuck I did. You know what I mean? Don't know what I did. But I commented on both of them because I was like, man, fuck y'all, dude. Do you know what I mean?
One of the most important things to do is don't read comments.
Yeah, everybody tells me that.
That is huge. And I give a major shout out to our moderators, because we get on average 2,000 comments every single day. We've got 5 moderators, and they have the wonderful job of going through those comments. So when something rises to, an actual threat, then I'm made aware of it, and I have our legal team take action, and we have sent cease and desist letters to several people.
Yeah.
But as far as comments and people disagreeing or saying, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, I don't really care. And it goes back to the way I was brought up, and something my mom told me. She said, in this world, you have to have big shoulders and big elbows. And what she meant by that was you need to be able to move things, obstacles out of your way, and you got to have big enough shoulders to carry the burden. Mm-hmm. So if I was, if I had a glass jaw, boxing term, if I had a glass jaw, I would never do this. I would do fuzzy bunnies, right? At the same time, there are times, once or twice a year, it gets uncomfortable, things can, because, people be crazy, and so once or twice a year, it does get worrisome. And so now 8 years in, times that by the 2 times a year, and we've had some strange times, but for the most part, especially based on 2,000 comments a day,
Never enough to make you feel like you should stop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you've thought about?
Yeah, I'm human, dude. Yeah. And not only am I human, but I'm a dad, right? Mm-hmm. My kids see that stuff, and they hear people talking, terrible stuff about their dad, and they know better than that. You know what I mean? But what can they? They don't want to get in it and then have it, moved to them. My grandkids see it. So yeah, it does bother me on that. And then in my family name, I've got brother and sister, and so I don't want, I don't want to ever besmirch my family name. But other people do a damn good job of besmirching, my family name. But when you actually look at whatever they're complaining about, there's no there. And I take a lot of pride in that. So, people can say what they want and get all tore up from the floor up. But at the end of the day, we told the truth.
Yeah, well, I assume if your information is coming from law enforcement, now, I'm assuming you got it wrong a few times. Or maybe it was worded wrong.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, because you said that you got writers and then everything has to go through you before it gets published, right? Right. Has anything ever slipped through the cracks that something big happened and you just didn't notice it and it slipped through and you published it anyways? You was like, fuck, we fucked up, so you had to go back and take it out? Anything like that ever happen?
I've had more issues with politicians and heads of departments, governmental departments, demanding that I change parts of articles. That has been the biggest issue. As far as a breaking story, of course details are going to change as more detail, facts are going to change as more details come out. So we update. So you may have seen the first part of the article, but you may not have seen the update. And so as it goes through and as we learn more, then we add the updates. The biggest problem has been people that think they're too big for their britches and want to censor us or argue. I had an argument one time with a politician for 2 hours over one sentence. So I even had to put a cease and desist letter against another. It wasn't a politician. He was a government guy that was absolutely bullying me and harassing me over quotes he said, and we quoted him by the word. We've got a program that we take the audio, put it down, and it gives us a transcript, and so we've got the transcript and we can hear it for ourselves. So we quote him, his exact words, and he absolutely lost his marbles for a couple of weeks. It was like a bad breakup. And I had to get the attorneys involved, and we sent letters, a cease and desist to him, his boss, and then the county prosecutor. So everybody was on the same page with what was going on. That's where I get more crap.
Stuff you actually have to worry about, not just comments. Like, that's something you actually have to invest some time in. You don't have to invest time in me being mad over something you said or somebody, Yeah.
As far as, our stories come from actual police reports, period, bar none. Also, we own the Marks Tower receiving system here.
I don't know what that is.
And so we get the archives of all the police calls from Pike County, Scioto County, Lawrence County, and Jackson sometimes. It's sporadic, but always Pike, Scioto, and Lawrence. And so I can go back, I can pick a day 3 months ago and go back to an incident and hear everything that was said. So then you compare that with the police report, and it helps kind of color in some of the areas that may not have been exactly in the summary of the police report.
And I guess that helps you not have to redact. You can just say, we're just updating. That way you're not like, sorry, we got that. You can just be like, we're still updating.
Yeah, we...
How long have you been doing this? Well, you said since 2017, right? But you were kind of doing it prior?
2016, yeah, and then I took over in 2017, gave it, made the name legal, registered with the state, got the press credentials, everything we needed to actually be a legitimate media company. And that happened in 2017. 2016, we were just trying to figure out
How to do it.
Do we have a thing? Is this something people are interested in? And what's the best, the best route to get that information out? And as a publisher, people a lot of times don't understand what my job actually is. My job as a publisher is to find really, really talented writers, talented, like Betty, going out and around town and interviewing people and everything. Find them and make sure they have an audience and put the two together. So we have talent, we have audience. And my job is to go, hey, audience, check out talent. That's my job. Okay. So a lot of people think that I'm riding out on Facebook all day long. I'm not. I'm hardly ever on Facebook. I use a scheduler, and the scheduler automatically puts the stories out. I work with our writing team on maybe some angles, or let's think about this. Might have some other, like I might have been able to get something off our receiver that maybe wasn't in the summary, so I can add some more color and give that to the. And then most of my day is really working with people that are contacting us. We have so many whistleblowers, and that's one of the things I take a lot of pride in, and especially when it comes to people saying stuff, and I don't like it because my kids see it and stuff, but through the whistleblowers that we have and the sources we have, we've actually been able to do a lot of good change. Most people don't know it, and I don't care to tell the world because we absolutely did it. You go to Kroger's and you see the security cameras out there in the little trailers that are out in the middle of the parking lot, and they got the
Oh yeah.
You know why those are there? Because I had a huge fight with corporate security over the Kroger's folks chasing people through the streets of Portsmouth over a pork chop.
Oh, people stealing?
Yeah, and they would run from Kroger's all the way freaking Salvation Army, all the way down, and these loss prevention guys would chase them through the streets of Portsmouth. Ridiculous. Somebody's going to get hurt, and I'm not saying anything about our local loss prevention, the dudes that work at Kroger's, because that was the policy, right? Go get them. That was the policy.
Doing their job.
So I got no beef with them. I got a beef with the guy that tells them to chase people through the damn street. So when we got on with Kroger corporate, and he's like, well, that's our policy. I said, you got 3 stores in my coverage area, okay? 3 stores in my coverage area, and there's only one that chased people through the streets, and it's that store right there. And somebody's going to get killed, and somebody's going to get run over, running out in the street trying to get away from the guy. There was already one loss prevention guy that twisted his ankle chasing somebody back around Domino's. But then I said, not only the person that would get hurt, but think of the driver of the car that was just driving along, and somebody jumps out in front of them. When you hit a human being, you're forever changed. You're gonna carry that forever. So you're putting the public in danger with that. And so now that policies have been completely changed, and they've got those big video cameras out in the parking lot so they can watch the directions that people go to, so they don't.
I think that's a positive for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of several, because I'm not a horn honker, but that is one of several where we were able to step in and make some real change, and make things safer.
How do you make money? Are you funded, or like is I know you have the subscription now.
Right.
Is that still going?
Yes.
I know there was. Okay. But so how do you make money doing this to like pay all your people, your writers, and
So the subscription thing started because that's pretty much how all the news outlets are going now, the print news media. It's just the way of the world. And the reason why it's the way of the world is very, very simple. After COVID. Now I know, oops, we're on YouTube, so you can't say that. You can say plenty of C words, but you can't say that one, right? But post-pandemic, advertisers cut their what they pay by at least a half, sometimes more. And so pre-pandemic, they were pumping all kinds of money into ads because people were staying home. They were spending more time on the computer, and they were doing all kinds of stuff. And so we could do fine with those views. Now,
all the ads that was okay.
yeah. So, but what a lot of times people, and this is going to go back to your headline. This is a direct answer to your headline. The way that it worked when it was good, because it ain't good now. This is why everybody's switching to the subscription model. When it was good, best case scenario, we would get between $2 and $4 for every 1,000 people that read an article. You know how many damn eyeballs you got to get on an article to get your $2? You know, and if you're budgeting $10 or $20 for an article to be written, you've got to get eyeballs on that article. So that's where we had to get creative with some headlines to be able to bring the readers in to get those eyeballs because we wanted our $2.
Right. And you said that's when it was good, so it's about half of that now.
That's when it was good. Yeah, that's when it was good. Now it's unsustainable. It's absolutely unsustainable. And so we have gone to the subscription model, which is the future. It's where it's all going. It's just here. People aren't used to it, and so it's a little bit of a learning process. The best part about having the subscription is it is a personal relationship. Facebook's completely out of the picture at that time because right now the algorithms, they may, if there's a bunch of controversy and there's a bunch of comments, then everybody gets that story, right? But if it's a piece of good news, or if it's a piece of local government news, or if it's not very controversial, it doesn't get a bunch of heat, and so then it doesn't get circulated, right? Therefore, if you're a second or third tier, because social media puts you in tiers. If you're a first tier person, second tier person, all the way down. If you're in the second or third or fourth tier, you're not going to see anything from us except the most controversial stuff, right? With the newsletter, it comes out every night at 9 o'clock with everything we publish that day. So it's fair and equal distribution. There's no algorithms, so there's no bullshit. Here's what we did. Here's what we published today. And it keeps in chronological order, so you can go back. So even if somebody just subscribed today, but they want to see what they missed out on, they can go back to previous issues, just like we all used to do with, we had to do a report, and we'd go to the library and check things out. I mean, one of my age, we went to the microfiche and was back there looking at old newspaper articles. But we've created that archive so people can go back and see what was actually published and what was actually said. So it's a fair and equal distribution. It's a personalized service, and we take third-party algorithms completely out of the picture. So, and we're not beholden to these national advertisers that want to change their rates and pay us $2 for every 1,000 people that we get. So we don't have to be as out there as far as our, headlines and stuff like that.
Because, at that
before
point...
you ask your question, did we hit record on that camera? Okay. All right. Cut. We're back.
Whenever it says the IA, it means it's recording.
I thought so, but it just... I don't know. You care to look? Just... I mean, we have the other cameras, but still.
We're good.
All right.
What'd you say?
It was just bugging me. I was like, because I knew I didn't hit it.
Well, okay, so cut back in.
Yeah.
Right here. So Yeah, a lot of your articles was real clickbaity, but I mean, like he said with the TMZ shit, that's how you get people interested. So that's how you draw people in. Even with our shit, like
Yeah, we kind of do the same
we
thing.
got sometimes, not always, but sometimes you gotta find that right headline to, because we might be doing something super cool, but if there's a terrible headline, and no one will click on the video. You know what I mean?
So you got to have a good thumbnail and you got to have a good headline.
Yep.
And that's kind of the art of it.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm saying. So, like I said, like I got on Facebook and like I was asking people, and like a lot of the stuff people were saying, I was like, man, do you mean a lot of it was mean? But then again, though, do you know what I mean? Like,
But I can't believe it.
yeah, it's like, well, no, I mean, I understand why people be mad, because like I said, when that article came out about me, I was pissed off, but I mean, it was forever ago. And then Greg explained how he explained it to me. I was all like, I mean, that's right. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
It is.
and that's what comes with it. You know what I mean? If you're out here doing dumb shit, or even what I did wasn't dumb. There was nothing dumb. You know what I mean? It was just it was a dumb situation. But like I said though, if a lot of motherfuckers do dumb shit and then they get blasted and they're mad that they're blasted, and that, I mean, it's your fault most of the time. Sometimes there could be a rare case where you literally didn't.
You didn't
do
buy a
nothing.
baby.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't. That was the craziest shit ever. Yeah.
So, are you sticking? Is this your business model forever, or you have any changes that you might be exploring?
The changes that we are, I'm not going to call them changes. The enhancements that we're looking at going forward is to add a full-time court reporter to be able to tell the end of the story, because we have so much vested in the beginning of the story, and this goes to really what you're talking about. But we can't afford right now to have somebody sitting at the courthouse going through every case, listening to every arraignment, every decision. And so that's my goal. Once we get to a certain amount of subscribers, then I'll be able to hire a full-time court reporter. So then we can tell you the beginning of the story and the end of the story.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea for sure.
Yeah.
So that's my main goal right now. You said you ask a loaded question is how do you make money?
Oh yeah.
That's how we make money. Now, ask me the question, are we profitable?
Yeah. Are you
Right.
profitable?
That's the real question.
That is the real question.
You're an entrepreneur, right? You make a whole lot of money, but at the end of the day, you're the last one to get paid, and you may not make any money. This year, we're coming out to the last few days of the year. This year, we're going to lose about $16,000. The good news is that's the best year we've had.
Oh yeah.
So, this is, like I said, my family realizes this. In the time that we've been in existence, I've put in about $187,000 of my own money to make sure this thing sticks.
Yeah.
And so, I have paid for the pleasure of people hating me, wishing me dead in a ditch, coming to my house. I've got bulletproof windows I've had put in. So I've paid $187,000 for the privilege of being the most hated man in Scioto County, which is ridiculous. It's just you know.
I mean, it is the TMZ model, though.
Yes.
Yeah. It comes with the territory.
It comes with a territory, and and if we were in other markets like Cincinnati, we've worked with some out of town markets with some stories before in the past. I'm not going to say Mike Moran, but out of with Cincinnati, and so they were away from the situation geographically, right? And then big business buildings, and they actually use pen names, which is one thing I wish I kind of would have done back in the day, was use a pen name like Ann Landers was not Ann Landers' name. All your movie stars, that's not their name. And the same thing is with authors and writers. A lot of times they have a pen name. And so when we did some of that really hardcore investigative stuff, we were able to use Cincinnati, and they were behind the cover of big law. We've got a law firm. They've got big money law firm. Plus they had already their pen names in place, and so they had some privacy. They had a distance that we didn't have, and it became far too dangerous for us at that point to really dig too deep publicly. So we turned all that stuff over to Cincinnati.
What do you think about this town?
What I think about this town?
Just broad question.
Yeah, right. Very broad, loaded. I like this town, and it's because, and if you go on a website, it tells the story of when I left. Like I said, you get out of high school, you go to college, you get out of town. When I left, and I would come back and visit, I saw the changes. See, I grew up here when the steel mill was rocking and rolling, right? So I remember a vibrant Boney Fiddle and Count's Bakery, and everybody was in church every time the doors, came open. Sometimes my grandfather, my papa, we would go and just, if we didn't, he would always have a church plan where we were going to go. If he didn't know where we were going to go, we would get in his little yellow pickup truck and drive all out through Highland Bend and all up through Minford and just listen for music. And when we heard somebody having church, we'd pull in and have church there.
Yeah.
So I remember active Boy Scouts, and, I remember that. Then when I left, as a lot of people do, to pursue other things, when I would return for, holidays, I would notice a difference in the faces here. And for a while, it solidified that I had made the right choice of getting the hell out. But then, as time goes on, age comes in, right? And you want to settle down. It's fun to move around. It's fun to see new things. That's well and good at a certain time in your life. But then there's another time in your life where you need just absolute stability. I love a boring day. It's one of my most favorite thing. I've written several books, and one of the books I talked about enjoy the mundane, right? Because if it's not boring, you've only got two other options. It's going to either be freaking awesome, which it very seldom is, or it's going to suck ass. So you want to have those boring days. And it took me a long time to appreciate that.
I'm there.
Yeah. So once I came back, I could see, I still saw the faces, and I still do see the faces, but there is under that a girding up, right? And there's pride coming back into the area. There's investments coming back into the area. There's leaderships that actually freaking care about the area. We've got law enforcement that has made a change in the last few years. That his leadership, Sheriff Dave Thurman, his leadership has created a much more effective law enforcement for the people out in the county, and Debbie here in the city. And so you're not having a lot of those scandals that we're used to from 2010, some of these bigger, more scary things that happened back in those times with the leadership that we have now. It was a really concerted effort and Jeremy Burnside, brought it up, the comeback city, and he was so dedicated to to being able to revitalize and have people have what I call pride of ownership, right? Hell yes, I live here, right? Instead of, yeah, I live here. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing that, we call them talking about trends. I see things trending up. Are there problems? Of course there's freaking problems, right? Are there people that make really terrible decisions? Yeah. Some of the problems that we have here are happening in every city in the state, every city in the country. But we can't fix those. We can only fix here. So it might be homelessness, might be, and it is a national problem, but for us, it's a Scioto County problem. So how does Portsmouth deal with the homeless situation? Because it matters not what Dayton does. It matters not what Marion does or Huntington does. It matters what Scioto County does, because they're sleeping outside tonight, right? So that's where I have a lot of passion, a lot of passion, that some of these problems that are systemic throughout the country, but they are very, very personal here, because we have to make our decisions on how we're going to deal with mental illness, drug abuse, homelessness. And so I'm very passionate about that. When we do a crime report, and this might help you understand my mindset, when I do a crime report about someone making a terrible decision, the point of that article, point of that story, is never to put somebody on blast. That's where it's perceived, right? And I need to do a better job of educating people about the perception. It's not to put somebody on blast. It's to show that the law enforcement and the resources that tax dollars are paying for is being proactive, right? And they're doing their job, and people are getting help, because sometimes a person needs jail for a bit. Sometimes people need hospitalization. We don't have a mental health hospital here. If we did, it'd be full up, right? And not only be full up from Scioto County, but from Athens County, Jackson County. We could have a regional mental health facility. So for me, telling a story, on a crime story, shows how the volunteers all throughout in the county are working to help. So you've got volunteer fire, volunteer EMS, you've got the law enforcement, you've got all these people that have dedicated their lives to helping these people who have made a terrible choice at that moment on that day. And so for me, that is the story that we're telling.
Good explanation.
Yeah. So look, you just saying that. I want to get into this real quick. Okay.
We haven't told any dirty jokes at all. You talk.
Okay, well, that's what I'm about to get at.
Oh, okay.
So you no, they're not gonna be dirty jokes. Okay, so you seem like you got a nice sense of humor. Okay.
I'll take the human part.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'm going to read off some of these questions that I got. I'm not going to read none of the bad ones. I'm going to read, but no, I want you to answer them, because some people really exactly what you were just talking about. People was commenting. So this is one of them, because exactly what you was just saying. All right, so Shadow Arthur commented, and he said,
Shiloh?
No, Shadow Arthur.
Okay.
He said, if you had the fate of Scioto County, if it was left to you, what changes would you make?
The fate of Scioto County?
Yeah, like if it was all up to you, you could change something up here.
Yes.
What would it be? What would be something you would change?
The biggest thing I would change, and it's not, again, change is a trigger word for me. I like enhancement. I like where we are heading towards trying to be a destination. And the Hocking Hills area is so popular throughout the state that there are actually too many people. They have too many visitors. What a great problem to have. And so the state, the ODNR, chose to invest in Scioto County as being kind of an overflow for an alternative for Hocking Hills people. So I don't want to be the overflow. I want Hocking Hills to be our overflow, right? So I want to see a very vibrant tourist environment that deals with, everything you could imagine. All the different things that you talk about, different counties are really pretty for this and really pretty for that. We actually have right here in Scioto County. You have everything from the small town feel, right, to some very innovative big tech stuff going on at Shawnee State, where they're putting out with the gaming certifications and stuff that they've got a world-class technology stuff going on down there. And the Cricker Innovation Hub, and we have a STEM Academy now, which we never had. So you have the city life. There are you can live downtown, you can work downtown, you can live downtown. That is nice. Then we have the farming community. So we have some flatlands with soybeans and corn and all that kind of stuff. Then we have the rolling hills of Memphis and out towards South Webster, and we have the rolling hills, and that's attractive to some people. And then we've got the freaking forest. I mean, you can go out there and be nowhere, right? So everything that a person would want to do as a vacation or as a getaway, if you want to, kind of do a little downtown thing, or if you want to do a middle of the woods thing, you can do it in Scioto County. So I would enhance, and I know our leaders are moving towards that way, what they're talking about generational products, and I talk to them almost every day. And I see the direction that they're wanting to go. So to answer Mr. Arthur, I would definitely say we should hang our hat on being a destination and not just for antique stores which nothing against the antique store.
Yeah.
My thing was we hung our hat for 10 years on murals.
Yeah.
Come down and see our amazing pictures on the side of a flood wall. That's all we could offer people.
I think that I like what you're saying about it being a destination location, but I think the people here need like a factory job. Like, Osco can only hire so many people. I think that everybody here is really poor. I think.
Well,
Okay,
Here's
but
the thing. Okay, when you take that pride of ownership, all right, and I'm serious about this. When you take that pride of ownership, a couple of things happen. Yes, we need industry. I think we need to have a regional mental health hospital here. SOMC does not want to be in the mental health business, plain and simple. I think we absolutely need a regional mental health hospital here. That would create hundreds and hundreds of jobs, all right? Not just a little 10-bed thing, right? I'm talking about a hospital. Then the next thing we need to do is embrace the regional jail. All right, Sheriff Dave is going through the process. We're going to have a regional jail. We're working towards that. We're going to have a separate female jail. We're going to do this. Well, what is that? That's jobs. That's jobs for all the COs, for all the people that are in food service. And there's a lot of jobs there. Now,
I just don't believe in incarceration, but I get what you're saying.
Right, but I'm saying it's putting people people to work. Once you take pride of ownership, then you make your own personal investments. Entrepreneurship is where it's at. You're never going to get anywhere doing, trading an hour of your time for a specified amount of money.
For $8.
You can get through month to month. That turns into year to year. But when you look at guys with driving hostess trucks, driving who's the other one? Anyway, guys driving all these hostess trucks and stuff like that, and then they all get paid on commission. They're business owners. The bread trucks, that's what I'm trying to say. The bread trucks, the hostess trucks, they are they're doing their thing. FedEx, you can be a regular guy and rent a FedEx truck and have your own FedEx route. So, all that, none of that requires $20,000 or $30,000 worth of college education, right? People are putting their time in learning skills or doing jobs that's not going to give them skills to be able to actually make that turn and be more in charge of yourself. That's why right now gig work is so popular, because people like the idea of I can work when I feel like working. I can work really, really hard, and when I feel like I don't want to work, I don't have to work. Or if I've got something I want to do with my kids, so gig work is that middle ground that people are finding that is a good transition from I'm going to trade you an hour of my time for this amount of money, but I can do this gig, but you could actually, move into some of these other things, entrepreneurship. But it's a good, comfortable bridge up until the point where you realize that, there's not really a lot of security in the gigs because they can change your contract at a whim. But for a year, 2, get you learning that, hey, I got to wake up, I got to go to work. If I don't work today, I'm not going to get paid today, right? That is the good mentality that sets somebody up to be an entrepreneur and then make an investment into the community and then actually hire people. Is this the most serious interview you guys have had?
Well,
We're getting ready for our one next week, so we got to get more serious.
All right, so you're going to practice on me.
Practicing
so
on
you
you.
All right.
So I got this one right here for you. Russell Barrett said, he deserves questions to let this town know who he is, since you do get all this hate. He said, what does Portsmouth mean to you? That's a really good question.
Shout out, Russ.
Shout out Russell. I ain't seen you in a while.
I started thinking about him. What was the question?
He said, he deserves questions to let this town know who he is. What does Portsmouth mean to you?
Portsmouth means to me 2 things. It means a wonderful, sound, sturdy foundation. When I traveled around and was living in different cities, people say, where are you from? I said, I'm from a little town called Friendship, Ohio. They thought I was just making stuff up. There ain't no place not, Friendship, Ohio. That's the best place in the world to be from, is what I used to say. And so what it means to me is that the foundation. I know what it is to have a family that is together and works, and grandparents. I was blessed to have 2 sets of wonderful grandparents. Then at the same time, I've dealt with the sickness that comes with family breakups, and so I've seen all that and how it's can be done in a healthy manner. Not that everything was healthy, but then you learn, well, the healthy way would have been this, right, in retrospect. So Portsmouth means to me really a foundation. All right, a very broad. You look at the tallest trees have the biggest bases, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. That foundation that you're not going to get in a lot of places. Okay, a very wide, very firm, rooted foundation. That's the first thing it means to me. The second thing it means to me is potential. I believe, and for a while I did not. I now believe that we can leave our children and our grandchildren, and I can say this, with a better town than we had for 20 years, right? We can show them that we were in the dumps. We were hurting, and we're still hurting, right? But we can go from places closing and leaving town and the opioid epidemic that swept the whole country and still dealing with that. We can show our kids that we can live through that, learn from that, and then begin to flourish again. You know, the sweetest grapes come from the roughest terrain.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna remember that one and use it one day.
Yeah.
You write that down.
Sure.
That was some good answers. So, okay, so you said, is this the most serious interview we done? Yeah, I think so. I think the Mike Brumfield one wasn't going to be serious. That was going to be more.
I was off the hook.
Yeah, that was
If
crazy.
you guys haven't seen it, I don't know what camera's running, but if you guys haven't seen it,
Yeah, that one was wild. But yeah, I mean, there's other questions on there, but like you answered, you answered most of them. Like people said, I want to know. Mary Charles said, I want to know why he makes lies on others and slanders their name, which they're not really lies. It's journalism. It happens. I got. All right, so let's do this little segment then. Since we was being too serious, let's go ahead and get into these. Mary Charles said, I want to ask him why he lies on others and slanders their names.
oh boy, well, that's a good question. I like that. And that's common. It's something that we get, right? And I can answer that very simply, right? If we lied and slandered, if we actually truly lied and slandered, we would have been sued 7 ways to Sunday, right? But I hearken it to this. Eyewitness testimony is usually the most inaccurate testimony that's given. And even people think, well, wait a minute, it's an eyewitness. If 10 people, let's say we're everybody in this room, and we've got our buddies, and we're down at, my son went in and he said, I said, where did you go? And he goes, well, they kept saying it wasn't Dirty Butts. Yeah. And I'm like, we use it Dirty Butts. Okay. So we're all standing there at 4th and Gay, right? And there's 10 of us. Something goes down. It's a car wreck. It's a whatever. When the police take the report, you know, what did you see? What did you see? What did you see? What did you see? There's going to be differences of eyewitnesses. 10 people can see the exact same thing and have 10 different stories of what happened. Right? Yeah. And so that's what makes the key to our reporting is the official record, right? The official record. That's why I spend so much time doing public information requests, so we have the official record. I know there are tons of different other perceptions, right? That you could pass a lie detector test, that you would put your hand on the Bible. But to be responsible and to report without bias and tell the truth without compromise, the best resource that we could possibly have is what is on the record. What actually, when you say what's on the record, this is what's going to travel through court systems and be on somebody's record for, years and years and years. That narrative, that's the record. Now, that's why I would like to have a court reporter at the other side, because as that court process happens, then new facts come out, things happen, things can change, and so that's all comes out in the wash, as they say. So that's why we go with what we feel is the most responsible thing to do, and that is from the police reports, because that is what going to go to the decision makers to say what happens after this is all done. So that's where we start. I mean, we could ask anybody about, like I said, about a car wreck and get 10 different stories about the car wreck. Well, now how do we tell what happened with the car wreck? We can get your story, but you saw something different, so you're going to think I'm full of shit when I'm going with him, right?
All right, here's another one. Los Lungsful said, ask him, does he look in the mirror every morning and say, I'm going to do some sucker shit today?
As soon as you said Los, I was like, I remember reading this one.
What is sucker shit?
Like you just look into the mirror like, hey, I'm gonna start some bullshit today.
Oh. Well, I do look in the mirror, but my mirror doesn't go down to my belly, so I don't realize until I see in the monitor there. Oh my good God. No, I don't. It finds me. So, if I had, I've got my computer monitor, and it is very common that the whole thing is full of chat boxes, and in some cases, it's people, politicians, whoever, talking about other people that I've got in another chat, if I had 3 monitors, I could do chats all across all 3 monitors. So, do I look in the mirror and say,
I'm gonna choose sucker shit today?
I'm gonna harpoon somebody today? No, except if I've been working with some, if I know we've got something, then I'm like, oh, today's the day, or we've got something we needed to select.
So sometimes you do wake up like, I'm on some sucker shit.
Yeah, someday. There's sometimes our investigations, and I tell people, we only print about 10% of what we actually know. And that's what people don't understand, is they think we just vomit out everything we could possibly get our hands on. That's not the case. We print about 10% of what we actually know. So there's investigations. There's an investigation we've been working on now for over a year, and we still haven't peeped about it. So when the time comes that we have that final piece, right? That morning, what's her name?
Los Lungsful.
Lois, that morning I will look in the mirror and say, I'm going to do some sucker shit. I'm going to do some sucker shit today. So, yeah.
Here's another one. Taylor Stiltner said, ask him if he be hiding in people's bushes.
Well, not in the conventional sense, no.
All right, here's another one. Gina Marie said,
I fell in a bush one time. I
got pushed in one up in Wayne Hills. Back in the day, at the each sidewalk back in the day, there used to be a bush on this side and a bush on this side. And I remember me and all my friends would get drunk and shit when it was like fucking 9 and we'd tackle each other in them. But Gina Marie said, I just want to know if he claims SCDN on his taxes. But you do, obviously, because it's an actual company. So,
yes.
There's a lot of questions on here. Ask him why does he make us pay for his gossip page, which you already answered all that. Ask him why he posts everyone's business and try to make us pay $10 a month. Haven Park said that. Ask why he blocked me.
Well,
yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of shit. Which you covered a lot of them. So, but there was a couple of them. Like I said, not all of them was bad. There was a couple good ones on there that was like, all right, yeah, we will actually ask him that.
I had somebody ask about how you own the scanners, that's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You said what's that called?
The Marks Tower receiver.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. He's like, ask him how he owns that and how much does he charge for it or something. Yeah.
So I noticed the problem, and this is what happens, right? Necessity is the mother of invention, right? For a long time, the app called Broadcastify did a really good job. A couple of years ago, something happened and Broadcastify started sucking. Another thing I noticed when I would be on Broadcastify is I needed to hear multiple jurisdictions, so that made me have multiple windows up, from all those Broadcastify feeds. I didn't like that. There wasn't any other way. And then Broadcastify just went silent. They were literally offline. They finally started coming back online, but for I've got a chart that shows this. When we first launched the scanner, I published it. For every one transmission that you hear on Broadcastify, you can hear 7 from our receiver. So that's how much Broadcastify is missing. And so what I wanted was to be able to hear that traffic. More important was to be able to archive that traffic and to be able to go back and to refer to it. So this system was actually designed for newsrooms. It was designed, and Sin Mackley, our head writer, she talks about when she first got in the news, they literally put her at a desk with 5 scanners and just says, tell us when something breaks loose. You know, that was her first job in news. And so what I wanted to do was have that archive, and there's also other features that where if certain keywords, and there's 150 some keywords, if the scanner, with me not anywhere near it, all right, just like us talking, if certain keywords are said by law enforcement or fire, I get notifications.
Okay.
And so rather than sit and listen to the scanner all the time, I get those notifications. Then I can go back to the archives, see what led up to that keyword being said, and then we get a story from that. And so that was to be, and the other people have bought this system. I'm the only one that has ever offered it to the public. This is a resource just simply for news organizations. But because Broadcastify sucks so bad, I worked with them, with our partners, and said, how can we make this to where the public can hear it? And of course, it's completely foreign to them because the whole point was for it to be going to newsrooms where the public didn't know about it so they could write their news, right? And I said, yeah, but, we go with, report without bias, tell the truth without compromise. There's no more unbiased, no more truth without compromise than a live stream of everything that's going on, right? And we don't have it. It does not exist in Scioto County. It may in Franklin, it does in Ross, but it does not here. So if I can fix that problem for the people, right, then we've accomplished something, because I didn't want to hog the resource all to myself. So the only thing of the resource that I've kept for myself is the notifications when certain words are said. Every other aspect of what we have, it comes with the subscription. And the reason why is there a subscription? I gotta pay for a service because I own the equipment and I receive the signal. There's another company that puts the signal out. Okay? And so we 50-50 on that. And beyond 50-50, he charges me a monthly fee, and 50-50 on the subscription side.
Well, if you think about it, it's kind of just like back in the day, you used to have to pay for like newspapers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't see me personally, I don't see it being nothing wrong with you charging people. You know what I mean? Because it's not like you're forcing motherfuckers to pay for it.
Right.
Either people want to or they don't.
And if you're one that relies, and social media is getting harder and harder and harder for algorithms and suppressions. Yeah. All right. It's always what's next. We were talking about how Reels is picking up. So sometimes I'll do some of our big stories on a Reel and put a link to the story because it'll get traction where I think the algorithms on regular Facebook would just kill it. So, you have to kind of keep evolving on that part of it. But yeah, I mean, if you look at back in the day, what we charge is pretty much the same as if you bought two, 3 papers back in the day. Everybody bought their newspapers, back in the day. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've got people that rely on us for their income. People forget we're a local business, right? And they're always, hey, support your local business. Except Scioto County Daily News, because they're sons of bitches.
Hey, they didn't support me either, buddy. I'm mad about it.
Right. And the other thing is, you like your analogies.
Hold on, me neither. If you think about it, I started my food truck. My food truck did do very good for a while. My food truck did good.
Yeah, I don't think you had problems with your food truck.
Yeah, no, we made like 700 a day.
You didn't go out and really.
Yeah, we would only be open for like 2 hours and we'd make like $700. But I wanted to make more than that. Okay, I wanted it to be like we sell out in the first 30 minutes every time.
We was going and buying the food. I mean, like out of that $700, you would spent $350 on the food, probably maybe more.
Yeah, I was making good money.
It was like, but now
that
next day you.
I was like the first food truck to be out, and then like
they're popping now.
Now they're popping, but no.
Yeah, you don't be first.
Yeah, motherfuckers. That's the thing about, man. I hate talking about Portsmouth.
Let me put you on this. Let me put you on this analogy, right? You go to a restaurant and they have a menu. If you don't like tilapia, do you say, I'm never coming to this damn restaurant again? Somebody ought to shut this place down. I freaking hate tilapia. Right. But I do like me some beef noodles. And they do have beef and noodles here at this restaurant. So I think maybe I'll come to this restaurant. Maybe I don't want it shut down. Because some people might like tilapia, right? It's the same thing. Every restaurant you go to in town, every restaurant, I don't care, there's going to be stuff on that menu you really like, and there's stuff on that menu you don't like. And do you call for their heads? You do not. So this is the same. It's the same thing with us. There's going to be some stuff you like. There's going to be some stuff you don't like. But if you don't shut down the restaurant because of a couple items on the menu.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Now, like I said, I don't think now that whenever Greg explained it, which, like I said, I'm so out of sight, out of mind with shit. I don't care what nobody does. Like, if it don't affect my life, I don't give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, so my TMZ analogy,
yeah,
that changed my mind before and I talked to my fiance about this.
Yeah, as soon as you told me that, I was just all like, bro.
I was thinking
I want to post on Facebook because everybody hates you, bro. I still got someone else just commented a minute ago talking shit. I just want to. Whenever we get done, we're going to take a picture, and I'm going to post. Hey, he's actually all right guy. You know what I mean? Like,
what do
he did. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like
did I dodge any questions?
No, that's what I'm saying. Whenever you got here. Before you got here, he said that shit to me, and I was like, bro, you're right. I mean, like, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even like, I thought, like, I was going to joke around with you more. You know what I mean?
Because I was joking around. Can we do another hour?
Yeah, I was going to joke around and just and make it, you know what I mean, more fun for me. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I was going to do. I was going to make it like, because I was taking it more as like, okay, this ain't a good guy. Not necessarily that's what I mean, but I'm saying in my head.
I understand.
But then whenever he explained that to me, I was all like...
I'm telling you, I changed my own mind.
Yeah, whenever you said that, I was all like, bro, he's literally... Because everybody had it in my head like you was a... You know what I'm talking about? You see shit and you see so much shit and you hear so much shit. That's because no one knows you. And then like, whenever he explained that, you're just doing your job. Of course, everybody's going to hate you. It comes with the territory. A lot of people hate us for the shit we do. But then I was like, man... I was like, Greg's right, bro. I was like, he could come in here and be a super cool guy. And then like everybody's opinion on the thing that never met him or never talked to him, all they're seeing is him just posting these articles. And sometimes, what if it ain't even him posting them? It could be someone that works for him. It's just so much shit. So now it's more or less like, motherfuckers just got to watch this and understand that you're an all right guy. You know what I mean? That you're a good guy yeah, bro. I mean, you're just a good guy.
So
I don't feel like, you know what I mean? I don't feel like motherfuckers, yeah, definitely I don't feel like motherfuckers should want you dead for posting.
Bulletproof Windows is crazy. I hope we'll ever get there.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I was pissed. Listen, for people to watch this, I want you guys to understand. This man put out an article that said that I bought a baby, but that's what the call was. You understand what I'm saying? And his job as a reporter, no matter what no one says, oh, he's a fake reporter, blah, blah, he's still a reporter. That's still what he's doing. People's paying. It's his business. People are paying to watch him. I mean, to see his shit, his articles, read all that shit. You know what I mean? So that's his job. He has to come up with the juicy stories. Same things we like to do. We like to get people on that are pop. You don't want someone that don't have a big name to come on. If someone's not popular, it's gonna get no views. This is gonna get a lot of views because you're really hated. Then people, I mean, seriously, it's gonna get a lot of views because you're really hated. Motherfuckers will be like, oh, I want to see this guy make an ass of himself. Then they're gonna watch it and they're gonna be like, oh, this guy really ain't an ass. This guy's a normal fucking guy that fucking once good around Portsmouth, because I didn't know that you did that shit down at Kroger's, all that other shit. There's shit that you're doing that's good. That people don't see that though. They only want to see the bad.
There's so many things we've done on the investigative side, as well as, and I do want to give props. I don't know if we said it while we were recording or not, but we've got the Young Broadcasters program through Wings of Hope. Miss Maxine Malone. She's not gonna watch this. Maybe she will. But we love our kids at the Wings of Hope. But you know, there are a lot of things we've been involved in that I call it the victory lap. Yeah. If you already think I'm an asshole, and I start doing victory laps about all the change, we did this, y'all, you have no idea, we pulled this out, this came as an investigation, then you would then I would actually, to me, I would be an asshole, because I don't want to take victory laps. But we know the moral victories that we've had, and they are some stuff that we are very proud of.
Yeah, we're going down smoking with you now.
Yeah, oh yeah, motherfuckers hate us.
They're gonna hate us now. So
some of you motherfuckers gonna subscribe. Nah, but
when you're not doing your job, what are you into?
So I like conspiracy theories, and I like I'm big into music, which is where the publishing company actually came from, was because I was writing so many songs and all that kind of thing. So that's where the publishing company started, was to catalog my songs. And then I started doing books and all that kind of stuff. And then I started adding other people in, but it started out just to be a clearinghouse or holding house for my works.
Do you think you have ADHD?
What?
Why would you say that?
Well, okay, because you know how me and you, Kelly, I don't think I have ADHD, but Kelly tells me I do, my fiance. We all know you do. But I think people that like take the steps to step outside of the box, like you said, you was doing music, writing books. Right. That's kind of like stepping outside of the box.
That's just because you step outside the box don't mean you got ADHD.
No, that's why I'm asking him. He thinks he does. That way it'd be like, maybe it's just ADHD
if I said
people.
It'd make you feel better, but
I don't think he knows what ADHD is.
I don't think I have ADHD at all.
You don't have ADHD.
Yeah.
Attention
you don't have ADHD.
I don't think so either.
Calm. I have ADHD.
I know what I'm big into mental health because I'm a mental health patient. Okay. So I can tell you exactly. One of the things that I have is OCD. And so when people have OCD, the first thing they think about is the don't touch me, everything's got to be clean, all that kind of stuff. And that's not it. It's obsessive compulsive disorder. So I obsessively compulsively do things. And so when I was younger, it was destructive things, right? It involved banging chicks. But the older that I get, I obsessively, compulsively want my kids to have something to remember me by, because another one of my things is I am certain that I'm going to die immediately. So I have this impending doom in my mind. It's a part of my mental illness. But every day I wake up, I think I'm going to die before the day's over. You know, whenever they say, lay me down to sleep, if I die before I wake, I legit feel that way. So when I lay down at night, I assume I'm not going to wake up. And so I go through with Miss Angie, you understand how the passwords, you understand where these documents are, do you understand what, and she knows I'm having those feelings when I start going through the drill with her in case I wake up dead. All right. So the OCD comes with making sure my kids have everything possible that I could teach them, even though they may not appreciate it now. Right? I'm not talking to. I mean, everybody's 30 at least now. But
Got a baby in the room.
yeah, so but they may not appreciate it now, but by the time they've got teenagers, right? They can look back at, because nobody gave me a reference book for life, right? Yeah. And I obsess on making sure they have those tools available, literally books to read from dad, that this is what I went through, right? And this is how I handled it, and it was not the right way. But now looking back, I know that this would be the right way. So that OCD manifests itself in originally the songs that I would write, and then I needed more than 3 minutes, so then it turned into books, and so it's now it manifests. Well, I was a teacher because I love to see the light bulb when you see somebody's eyes and they just got it, like when they just get a joke, right? It's like, right?
Yep.
That's the moment, right? And that's what I live for. So as I remove myself and my condition gets worse, I don't leave my house. So the only way that I can perpetuate the way I feel legacy works, right, is that I obsessively, compulsively produce and produce and produce. I try to be as creative as I can with lots of different outlets, but I'm always producing. And to me, that is my hobby. I can't stop producing.
So I guess my better question would be, do you think it's typically people, ADHD was probably the wrong issue but do you think it's people that have some kind of mental health thing, that those are the people that step outside of the box and do?
Yeah, I can see that. Motherfuckers that have... Unless
it's depression. And sometimes it is depression because I got to get this shit out of my head.
That's where a lot of my shit comes from, is being depressed. That's where a lot of my shit comes from. I mean, everybody's got something, right? Everybody's got a tick. But what was there? If you do research, Fortune 500 companies are all run by psychopaths, So there's probably an element to it that you have to have this, you have to have this aggressive nature, this devil may care attitude, and like my mom said, big elbows, big shoulders, and yeah. All I'm saying is the motherfuckers that are normal and don't live, that live just boring lives, it's because y'all's normal.
Do you have any inside scoop on Mike Moran? I feel like
he really is dead. He really is dead.
I could have swore I saw a picture of him
at the casino.
Yeah. I put that. You're gonna love that. I put that picture up for. You're gonna love this. That picture was up for 1 hour. 1 day, 1 hour. And weeks later, I'm driving through the blue store, and the guy at the blue store goes, "Was that really from Mike Moran?" We had somebody that was at a casino, and they did a double take, and they're like, "Holy shit, that guy looks like Mike Moran." So they sent me a couple snaps, and I'm like, "Holy shit, that guy does look like Mike Moran." So I put it up with no context whatsoever, none. I didn't say a word.
Hold on. Mike Moran's dead?
Yeah.
Bro, I was just trying to call his fucking office the other day. For being sued.
It's going to be a minute before he gets back to you.
I thought you knew he was dead.
No, I didn't know he was dead.
You really do live in your own bubble, bro. You really don't know shit.
No, I was just talking shit. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? That'd be crazy as well. Nah.
I just called his office. All I got was a heart.
So, yeah, he's really dead.
Yeah, old Mike Moran. Hey, he did. He was actually, whenever I bought my first house, whenever we got my first house, he was the one that did all the paperwork and shit, got me my house.
Yeah, if I get custody of my kid back.
Yeah. Shout out Mike Moran. I don't think Cuz should have died. What happened to him?
Heart attack, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He was old. I used to see him at the gym.
Bro, listen, I don't give a fuck. Didn't he just go to jail? He was in jail for 3 hours and Cuz died?
It wasn't no Epstein type situation. He hadn't. He'd been investigated, of course, and his house got raided and all that kind of stuff.
He was always being investigated.
Yeah, 40 years. People investigated him for 40 years.
Yeah, who all?
Do you think he was doing all that wild shit they were saying?
Depends on what wild shit you're talking about.
Like he was
in
doing
the-
some sex trafficking?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
He had all the prostitutes at his crib.
Well, I know he was. I mean, I see he used, but he didn't even hide it. I seen him at Toro Loco with prostitutes.
No, he didn't hide it. He used.
I'm
to
talking about
he
him
used to
Hide in
hang
plain
out-
sight, bro. That's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, there was a another restaurant on Guy Street. There was a Italian joint. And back in the day, it was a Chinese joint. Anyway, when it was an Italian joint, he would hang out in there and have all of his girls, and people would just come in and visit and leave with a friend.
He was pimp.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
People that was working for him in his office was calling him daddy while I was sitting there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got motherfuckers that call me daddy too.
Oh, you
I
did.
like that little shit.
It's creepy. Like, I'm trying to touch my kid.
You'll never hear me defend Mike Moran, but I have to make a distinction because there's something else. There's something more. What Mike Moran was appalling, illegal, and terrible on almost every level, except one: kids. Dude did not mess with kids. All right, he was not in the kid business. All right, he was in the other business, which is still taking advantage of people. It's still wrong. It's still illegal. And all the stories about, going in his motorhome from place to place and all that stuff, and the drugs and the corruption, it's horrible. It's horrible. But no kids.
Oh, so he wasn't like sex trafficking kids, is what you're saying?
No kids.
All right, so I don't understand what's so bad about sex trafficking.
All right.
Like, I mean, no, seriously, like,
Well,
are you taking these women?
against their will.
Yeah.
why you gotta...
Because the prostitute thing, that's what I'm saying. With the prostitute thing, I don't see what the fuck could he get in trouble for? I don't see how you get in trouble for fucking paying for some puss. Don't understand it.
All right, so that's a legitimate question. The human traffic...
Like, look, before you explain, what I'm asking, was he just like, because he always hung out with all them bitches, all them prostitutes and shit. Was he just like...
Was he just a pimp?
Best
Yeah.
case-
Was he
Right.
just with a bunch of bitches
Best
and
case
that sold the
scenario-
pussy and he was just selling it for them?
best case scenario, he was a pimp, right?
Yeah.
What happens is when your stall, right, your girls are indebted to you and therefore working for free and still owing you and still owing you and still owing you.
Like he's providing legal counsel in exchange for sex work.
Right. So then it crosses, it goes in so many different directions. And then there was a recruiting process where even people that, didn't need legal defense or whatever, they were like, you would get incentivized if he recruited 2 or 3 people. And, it was like a freaking Tupperware.
It becomes kind of
hookers.
disgusting.
And so at that point, it really, but as far as a transactional sexual encounter, my friends on the Republican Party will hate me for this, but I think it's probably the most honest transaction there is.
I think it should be legal too.
Whoa, selling pussy?
I think you should be allowed to
Yeah, I
sell
think
your.
you should.
I mean, it's like the oldest profession, right?
It's the oldest profession.
There are
But if it's people that-
escort companies down in Florida that you can literally go through, and they do that stuff with.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm about
and
to
there's-
actually pull up I got a badass picture of.
But when you take it to that level that Moran did, then it becomes abusive. It becomes criminal, right? And people don't pay. People talk. There's a whole lot of criminality kind of going around there, and missing people and
Yeah.
all that shit. That's a different story, right? But if it was just a guy that knew some girls that could hook you up, hey, it's always good to know a guy that knows a guy, right?
What is that?
him signing the papers from my house.
Oh, you took a picture of him.
Hell yeah. But
But no kids. All right.
Yeah, I mean-
gotta tell you, there is a seedy underbelly of child trafficking here in Scioto County that I'm telling you is much bigger than anybody could imagine.
Really?
It is disgusting and it is real.
Here, I would
in
never
Scioto
imagine
County.
that being here.
And
Why wouldn't you?
I've never
It's all
heard.
over.
I've never heard anything about it.
It's all over. I actually heard a story. I'm not going to talk about it.
please don't,
Because I
because
don't-
when it comes
yeah.
to child trafficking, once you get in there and you start exposing stuff and you start saying things that everybody in the world will have no idea what you say except the guy that did it.
It knows what's going on.
So I say those who know will know you know, right? So there's certain things that you can't even make generalities about without giving away the kind of who or what you're talking about, and they'll shoot you. They'll shoot you because
Well,
that's the
look-
big difference between child trafficking and pimping. Is somebody that runs
Pimping's
an somebody that runs an escort service is not going to kill you, right? But these guys, this syndicate, I'm going to call it, is very real.
I'll tell you.
Is this something you're working on? Maybe
Busting?
exposing?
Shit, if you would do that, bro, you'd probably.
Well, shit. I don't want you to say that because then you're gonna get shot. Never mind.
I would not. I'm just telling you. I heard that that the shit was real. How about that?
I'm gonna tell y'all some shit whenever we get done. Whenever we're done. I mean, anything else you really want to talk about?
Yeah, man. So you said you're friends in the Republican Party, or do you consider? Do you want to talk about that? You don't have to.
I can talk about politics.
I just want to talk about it for a minute because I just want to know how you feel about some Trump shit. Because are you a Trump supporter? You don't have to say any of this on camera if you don't want to.
Why would you say that?
I mean, I'm just saying because people got their opinions.
What would be the opinion?
I don't think you have to.
That
You don't
motherfuckers
have
think
to.
because if you support Trump, you're racist.
No,
Trump 2024.
no, this has nothing to do with race.
Yeah, well,
I'm just talking about
you
like
can't say it to a
some.
white guy then. Can I get a fucking cigarette? I need a cigarette. I've been over here
No.
fiending.
Give him two.
I gotta use the bathroom.
Bite the
I do have
filter
to
off.
piss.
You grab
But,
that for me, buddy. You're a good guy. But yeah, no.
Now you got me going off vape. I'm gonna go.
No, I just was wondering if you,
don't even
I know
smoke
some
these
people don't like to
cigarettes, bro.
talk about their
I
political
ain't smoking different
affiliations or
cigarettes
whatever.
besides Newport.
So I wanted to ask you if you're into national politics.
Yes.
Everybody, well, I am. Not everybody.
Global, actually. But
Okay,
yes.
yeah, I am too. So, do you have a presidential candidate that you would support publicly?
So, if you talk about presidential candidate, that Vivek Ramaswamy, I like what he has to say.
Yep. My
He's not
father-in-law
polling
likes
good.
it.
He's not polling good. But I don't know, man. I kind of dig his vibe. I really do. Back in the day, I was a Rand Paul supporter. That Rand kind of lost his mind a little bit in the last 5 years. But as far as this politics go, and the libertarian type vibe, I'm definitely down with that.
Me too. I am. I voted Libertarian last election, Joe Jorgensen, but this go around, I'm really looking at Robert Kennedy. Have you paid much attention to him?
I have. He's an interesting fellow with a hell of a story. And people think that he might be feeling in the conspiratorial realm, but he was there. He you know what I mean? He lived through it. There's a lot. There's so many of these conspiracies that turned out to be completely freaking true,
Yep.
and worse than what the conspiracy was. So you know, he's big on that Building 7, on
Just falling down.
I don't want to trigger any of your words, but yeah, I mean, he's really big on that Building 7 situation, which is a little suspect. I mean, you can't not, So is he a candidate that will win? Sadly, no. And I say sadly just because people are so judgy, and I think that his voice, his cadence, the way he speaks, will put people off. And I think that the people really will judge him harshly for that, even though it's not his own fault. But if you look at a transcript of what he said and you read his words, holy cow. Holy cow.
Well, he's doing what no other candidate is doing. He's sitting down at podcasts, having these long form discussions, talking about things that Trump can talk. Biden, obviously, I'm done with it. But he's telling real stories. He's a real man of the people. It's kind of like Bernie for me. I liked Bernie a lot. You know what I mean?
Bernie had an appeal.
He has the appeal of just being a real man of the people. And I feel like Robert Kennedy I'm 100% voting for him.
Well, they said John F. Kennedy was a super good president.
Yeah, that's.
I think he's, like I said, if you could just read his thoughts, it's fine. It doesn't bother me.
His voice doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me, but I know how people are.
That's true. I read the comments
you said something was weird. What his voice said. What is it?
I forget what it's called now, but he had an injury back when he was 40, I believe, and his vocal cords something's wrong with him. But I've listened. I don't even know if it bothered me.
It just takes it a few times, and then you understand him fine.
Now I watch everything I can find on him.
Yeah, but for some people, that initial, and people are just, anybody with a handicap, people are really terrible too.
That's true.
From autism to one arm or one shriveled up fingers, people are just terrible, and they're very judgy and they're very catty. So I think for that, as far as national, if somebody actually took the time, like you've invested, then yeah, you can get past that and it's normal. It becomes normal. It's just completely fine. But I think en masse, he's gonna have a hard time because people are they're this deep, dude.
That's true. I think that the message he's given, though, it seems like the only thing that's not so divisive and separative, it's separating everybody. It seems like it's something that would actually make the right, left, libertarian, everybody just be like, This is kind of like, you're maybe not getting everything you want, but you're getting everything to where we can actually start being Americans again and looking at each other as part of a country instead of tribalism. It's just everybody's everywhere.
He's very much in the center. I think that this will be your controversy, I guess. If Robert Kennedy would be running for president now, he would be a Republican. It would be in the Republican category.
Which is crazy
because he was a very moderate Democrat. And so if he would run now, he would definitely be in the Republican Party just based on the platform, and also the platform of the other party has gone in some really interesting places that I don't think he would have gotten behind.
So what's the difference between the Republicans and Democrats is what?
In general,
one's for the poor, one's for the rich?
No, not. I mean, that's kind of a piece of it. But in general, Republicans are more conservative. Libertarians are more conservative about money, but not social issues.
Right.
Libertarians, it's like, I want my gay black neighbors to be able to grow their weed plants and have their AR-15s. Just don't take any of my money. Then Republicans are like, we don't want any gays doing anything.
We want war.
I'm Republican.
Democrats are have become, I don't even know how to describe Democrats or the left anymore.
Well, they're a little fractured. They're messaging some of the extreme part of the party. Seems like their voices are louder or being covered by the media. I don't know, more so than the moderates. I mean, there used to be a term called a blue dog Democrat, and that was to be the people that they were Democrats, but they also they had more conservative type ideals, but they still fell on the Democrat
fell
side
on that
of
line,
things,
over that
right?
line. Yeah.
But with the Libertarian, you're exactly right. They are very conservative, physically. They're also mind your own business as a nation. But then on social issues, they are much more forgiving. They are
Live and let
definitely
live.
gay, absolutely friends of the gay community, more than friends, embracive. And so, in addition, recreational marijuana, which is now legal, but up until, heretofore, my girl will get that one. Heretofore, that was an issue. It used to be, it should be marijuana is medicinal. Mushrooms is going to be next. Nobody's ever had the mushroom discussion, but I'm telling you, that's going to be next. So you heard it here first, folks. So yeah, that's the Libertarian, and I've always identified as a Libertarian. How am I registered to vote? I'm not ashamed to say I am registered as a Republican, because the Libertarians aren't ever gonna really rise up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We haven't put forth really that many viable candidates. So I'm for the two of the three things that I am passionate about, right? National security and making sure that our government is run properly and not overrun, not over bureaucratic, crazy limitations and crazy rules that are for no other reason but to keep small businesses, down, and then for being pride as a nation, and wanting to do American-made products, right, and have our own, our shoe factory back, for crying out loud. This is what I'm very proud of and support, and I have my whole life. But then that third part is would be the Democrat, right, of me, but it's being a Libertarian. And that third part is some of these social issues I am completely fine with. I don't know what the freaking problem.
Yeah. We're all just going to live here for like 70 to 90 years and then die. So why do I care what you're doing socially and who's in your bed? I don't care about none of that. Like that seems ridiculous to even waste moments of your life on. And I used to be homophobic until I just grew up one day and was like,
you had sex with a gay guy.
No. I was homophobic with gay Mike. We keep name dropping you, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, gay Mike actually saw me at the bar one night, and he said, "Y'all gotta quit using me.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta quit using me."
Me and him used to argue because
Will you all introduce me to Gay Mike?
Yeah, gay Mike's cool. Yeah, hell yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah,
but we used to argue because I was really religious back then too. So I just followed the gay thing.
Listen, gay Mike said we gotta stop bringing him up, and he's like, bro, it's like, whenever you say like, "Oh, I ain't racist, I got a black friend."
Well, we're gonna have
And
gay
he's right,
Mike,
bro, because we just be bringing up. If we talk about anything gay, we're like, but gay Mike.
And you talk about being raised religiously, right? That goes back to what I was talking about earlier about that sturdy foundation. I was raised extremely strict religion, not Truth Tabernacles, but we were allowed to, talk to whoever we want to talk to, right? But I had a very, very strict background, and I grew up to agree with some of it, and some of the stuff I'm like, I don't know, guys.
Right.
I don't know, guys. You tell me, oh, you can't have a beard, but there's a long-haired bearded guy hanging up right here. I'm
Right.
just saying, I don't know what. I don't know. So yeah, there's that, and it's the same thing. Whether it's your spiritual being or how you're going to navigate this world with your politics and your worldview and all that kind of stuff, every bit of it. You start with the foundation, it's implanted in you, and then as you grow, then you start to really consider things, and you just kind of peel that onion a little bit, and you go, wait a minute, I'm not sure.
Right.
Or, wait a minute, that's way cooler than I thought it was. I want to learn more about that, and so you grow that way.
Yep. That's what happened to me,
Yeah.
in a sense.
We were talking about gay people.
Oh yeah.
That's where we were at, right? Let me tell you something. This is one of my sayings. I have sayings. They're like little cue cards I pull out of my. All right, you can go to a funeral with a drag queen and still have fun.
I've never hung around with a drag queen. Now, me and my fiance recently.
Wait, what do you mean about that? What do you mean by that?
They are so fun and so lively and energetic and sassy.
Carefree.
They are, they're living in the moment. They're living in the present, and I relish that because I can't. I'm either living in the future, I'm living in the past. For me to be here now, right now, I can't. It's very difficult for me to do. It seems like some of the most beautiful people that I know are in the moment. They are right now. And so when I say you can go to the funeral with the drag queen and still have a good time, that's what I'm talking about, right? They are in the moment. They are in the present, right? I have had so many fantastic memories over so many years with such wonderful, wonderful people in my life. I would just say it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that live in the moment, and you know what I mean, carefree, but I ain't gay. That's where it comes in that I talk about.
Only 10% of the people are.
What, gay? Oh, fuck no.
I thought it was like
Fuck
6.
no. Fuck no. Nowadays, God, everybody's fucking gay.
Well, there's a difference
Jesus
between
Christ.
experimentation and
There's not.
identity.
No.
Not for no, there is.
You think so?
Wait, what'd you say?
He said experimentation.
Oh,
Yeah, experiencing life, whether it's doing dumb stuff, like riding your bike off a stupid ramp that never is going to go anywhere, and you just get a face full of cinder blocks, or if you go to the physical part of it, and you try things and you think, well, I don't know, did this work? Did this not work? Did I get my face in cinder blocks? Or was it fun? Did I make the jump? And so I don't think experimenting has anything to do with your identity. There are what's called in a gold star. Sometimes people say, are you a gold star lesbian? Are you a gold star? And that means you have never, ever, ever done anything with anybody except you were always this way. You did not do any other outside experimentation. But those are rare. And so even within the community, and we talk about, you're talking about tribalism. Even in this community that's full of such wonderful, loving people, there's still tribalism, right? And they still have their cliques. The people they don't like. A lot of folks don't like bisexuals because they're greedy. Right. And so it's like almost like the meat people and the vegetarians. It's just always there's these little villages, right? These little camps. But absolutely no. I think that anything you do is a learning process as you're growing, and then you decide who you are. Who am I? It's the great question, right? So I don't think experimenting makes you gay at all.
well, I think that might be true for women.
Yeah.
My sister, I keep
it's
talking
fine.
shit about my
I'll
sister
tell you
on
what,
here.
It's a lot finer because
It's better to look at.
If me and your boys, right?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, I'm gonna say us fucking. No, if me and you are boys, like we're friends, right?
Right.
All right, now here, me and Greg, we're kicking. I've known this.
No, man. I mean, you
Hold
can
on,
say it was a stranger.
I'm gonna bring you in this.
All right.
So me and Greg,
Yeah.
we're kicking it. It's been my best friend for a long time. If we're kicking it, he was like, "Hey, bro, I did some freaky shit last time." I'm like, "All right, tell me the freaky shit." He said, "I just had more and I didn't like it." You know what I'm gonna say? I'm not gonna be all like, "Bro, what I'm not gonna say is, I'm glad you ain't gay." That's not what I'm gonna
That's
say.
true. You're like, you're
I'm
gay
gonna
now.
say, bro, you're a
We're gonna bleep that out.
yeah, believe that. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say, bro, you're a fucking one of those. You know what I mean?
Homosexual.
Like, bro, you what? What do you mean you just let him do it, bro? Yeah. Because in my head, if I think about it, I'm just like, I don't want it. So if you had to go to that extent
But-
to do it, bro, you're freaky.
All right,
But I'm not hating on motherfuckers that are freaky. I'm not, for real, I really don't give a fuck. But I'm saying it, You can't be my best friend no more.
Oh my God, that's all. That ends us.
It's us, bro. I'll walk off this podcast, bro. I would come here, we'd shoot an episode, and I would just be gone. I'd take that, I'd bust that picture, rip my part of my face off that picture. I would fucking break the BTE in half, bro.
That's so
You get half, I'd get half.
You know, I'll tell you why it's sad. He's the one that got it. He didn't give it.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. You're telling me right now.
That's
No,
the
I
difference.
agree
That's
with what
gotta
you're
be-
saying, but
Bro,
I'm not gonna. I don't. I agree 100% with you.
Yeah, bro.
But
That's
he-
the freaky shit. Because if I'm like this, now if I come at you like this, like, hey, bro, I thought about getting my shit sucked by a dude last night.
I'm
Thought
gonna be
about
like,
it.
don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ricky, you know
Glad
you
you ain't
don't
gay
want.
because glad you ain't gay because you didn't let it happen. We can live past
I
that.
can see
but
how-
once you say, hey, boom, 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 little sloppy toppy, I'm like this. Hey, that ain't my type of guy.
So then the question is, honestly, is it okay that other people...
Yeah.
Yeah. No, people.
Right.
No, hell yeah.
So
Listen,
your thing,
I don't care. My
right,
thing
your
is,
thing is your thing, right?
Yeah.
And your worldview and your perception is what it is, and it's not necessarily wrong because it's you and it's your life you're living, dude, right? But also, we have to come outside just a little bit to acknowledge that you're living your reality, you're living your reality, you're doing your worldview, you're doing your 79 years, right? And so people within that time, they're going to try stuff or not.
yeah, no. Exactly what I say is this: I don't give a fuck what no one does in the world, as long as it don't affect my life. We just talked about this our last podcast. If it don't affect my life, I don't give a fuck. Right? I don't
Right.
care.
And do anything
now.
you
And
wanna do,
but I
but
will
you-
say though, is that being my best friend, my brother, you mean? If he come out and was like, "Hey, I'm gay," you understand what I'm saying? It is what it is. If he actually come out and was like, "Hey, I'm gay," I really wouldn't care. Really wouldn't care. But if he come at me and said, "Hey, I got sucked off last night by a dude, but I didn't like it. I'm not gay, bro. You are gay."
Well, that's why I was saying. I
Gay
think it's
for
different
trying
for
it, bro.
men and women. I think the way that men are judged.
Yeah, if me and him start making out on camera right now, ain't no one
we're
don't
gay.
want to watch that. People are going to start logging off, right?
Yeah,
But if it's two
unsubscribe.
females, motherfuckers be like, "All right, hell yeah."
It's
But
about
then-
time.
but
It'll
we're
never,
gay.
never even be
Yeah.
talked about again. They'll watch it, hell yeah. Never be talked about. If we kiss, bro, it's
over.
talked about. Yeah, we're down smoke. Either we're going up or
You can
going
sell
down.
T-shirts,
no in between.
so you'll have this whole merch line, and it's the smooch.
Yeah, but we don't even want to rock like that though. We don't. That's not how we want to. We don't want to come out with T-shirts like that. If anything, yeah, not that.
But what I was saying is, I think that for men and women, it's different. When a woman can literally have 3 kids and go decide to be a lesbian, and then maybe go back and be with a dude again. If a dude does any of that,
Hell yeah.
the
Actually,
way that
we was talking the other day on the game. They was talking about how this dude here in town had a girlfriend, left his girlfriend, got with a guy, and then tried to go back to his ex, and she wouldn't take him. Because that's
and I
freaky,
feel like
bro.
that makes she
That
should
does make sense.
Like I
You leave me for a dude? That's
the
like, hey,
person, okay, so the person that was wronged has the right to evaluate for their world and for how they perceive they want their future to be. They have the power to say, "No, we're done," or, "You know what? There's enough here that let's move forward." So, everything comes down to personal decision, right?
Yep.
One of the things that I always like to talk about, especially when it comes to relationships, is everybody has a bullshit limit, okay? And I call it the bullshit factor. So you meet somebody for the first time, and you have this much bullshit, baggage. Everybody has it, right?
Yeah.
And the person that you meet has their baggage, their bullshit. And so for that first time, you're trying to decide if you can live with their bullshit and they can live with your bullshit. And are we going to add to it? Is there any way we can take away from it? You're not going to change anybody. So you're definitely not going to reduce it. So you have to accept the bullshit for what it is. Yeah. And if it's possible, and it hardly ever is, if it's possible, you can make that connection, right? And both people have a full and complete understanding of the other person's bullshit, and they accept them completely because the other person is accepting them. So how you would handle a situation is good for you and your circle. How you handle a situation is good for you and how you perceive the world. But if somebody else makes another choice, let them make their choice, baby, because they're doing all this that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
That was actually really good relationship advice.
I'm not in a relationship.
That's what happens when you have old guys on your show.
That's I mean, that could apply to any, not even like a romantic relationship.
Our relationship.
That could apply to me and you.
Yeah.
You got your bullshit, I got my bullshit. Somehow we got our bullshit to
It's
align.
lined up,
Let's
right?
kiss it out.
I don't think we should kiss it out.
Hug it out. Tug it out.
Nah, we don't.
No.
Whoa.
Oh.
The tugging part was a little
Let's
back on
see
the
it.
freaky
He
shit.
was doing this. He was doing this. I thought I could get that other word in. Just keep him going.
Nah, me and Greg, we work shit out pretty well.
Yeah, we do.
I beat the fuck out of him if he does something I don't like.
He just.
Do
he
you want to
just,
shoot him?
He tugs me a lot, and we get through it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll do a little cut there. A lot of that segment's gonna have to heavily edited.
Why? What was bad with that?
You can't say.
Yeah, all you gotta do is bleep out.
That's one word. I thought you said
And
a lot
probably-
of the segment. I'm like, what?
And probably the suck.
Why?
Suck. Probably not very good.
Yeah, just bleep out.
Yeah.
The thing was, if he got it instead of giving it, that was funny. I thought that
Yeah,
was
no, all that. All
Oh no,
that
yeah, no, that's staying in for sure.
yeah. But anyway,
I want to ask if you have any advice for us moving forward. Obviously, you've been doing this for a little longer than us. Well, I mean, we don't
Are
even
we
really.
back on? I
No,
thought
yeah.
you were just telling me what we were going to do.
Okay, I'll start it now.
Okay, sorry.
Remember whatever point we're at. So, do you have any advice for us in kind of the same realm that you've been in for a while? Things that you think might. You said you did a little studying before you got here, see who we were. Any advice for us?
I did. I watched about 7.5 hours of your content, and I was blown away by some of the interviews and some of the the conversations. So when you say you want me to give advice to us, what us? There's lots
BT
of
as a
us's.
network.
me and him, like,
Okay.
what from your standpoint, from you being a journalist, because we're kind of like journalists, but we're not into it like that. We do more of one-on-one journalists.
You're
with
doing
motherfuckers.
what you're doing is a long form content.
Yeah.
So you're talking to one person for across several subjects for an extended period of time, and that's different than 300 words about this shitty
One
thing
thing,
that happened, right? So in a long form format, which what you guys have, the first thing is be really happy about where you are right now and appreciate the set, appreciate the lights, appreciate the text, appreciate now, because you're living in the good old days. You just don't even know it. All right? That's the first thing. Appreciate where you are. Then the next thing is, where do we go from here? But it's never where you think. So when you start a business or you start a venture, how it ends up is much different than when it started. When it started, it was just me and Broadcastify, and I would just type crap up, and people, oh my goodness, they read it. That could have been what I'm still doing 8 years later, but instead we've grown a nice small business here in the community. So where you want to go, you want to establish goal 1 and goal 2. This is a measure of success. And between the measures, you have to have little hash marks, just like on a football field. You know where the end zone is. You know the goal you're going to. But across the field, there's hash marks. There's so many yards, all right? And you need to be cognizant. No, I didn't make the goal, but I'm clear down to the freaking 50 already, and it's the first play, right? No, I didn't make my goal again. but I got a first down, right? And so appreciate where you are, set goals, see the goal, but appreciate when you make your yards, right? That's the best advice that I could give, because if you're always setting goals and you don't see the hash marks, you just think you're not meeting your goal. And while you think you're not meeting the goal, you're forgetting to appreciate where you've come and what you have.
Forgetting
now.
that we got that first down.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Did you have any questions for us, or any comments that you want to say publicly to the subscribers, viewers?
I think that these guys, you should subscribe. I'm not used to YouTube. You should subscribe, like this video. Thankfully, YouTube will not let you dislike this video.
Do they not?
No, you can't dislike a video on YouTube. I don't think. I think they took the down thumb away.
They may have. I haven't checked.
So that you have no choice. So like the video and give comments, because it all comes down, and I don't care. You can say I'm a jerk. I don't care. But you leave a comment if you feel that way. And what happens is, if they do that, it only helps your algorithm, because it's engagement. And the whole world with social media of any kind is making that algorithm realize you're there, because there's so much other content spinning around. And if that content realizes you're there, you'll get be a cog in that wheel and just move forward and advance and advance. So you need that. You need that engagement. So please engage.
And we appreciate your support.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
But individually, you ask individually, so I need to honor that. I don't want to miss any questions. You said individually. After watching for 7.5 hours and being with you guys for a couple hours here tonight, right? Then I can, I have this much little pie crust, right? But here's what I can say. You need to stop lusting after his wife.
Yes, get his ass.
And telling him about it. You can lust
Well,
after
see, that's
his
the
wife,
thing.
but you can't
It
tell
comes
him.
off that way because people don't see what she does to me. It comes off. All they see is the one-sided me talking about her.
I'm gonna have her block you as soon as I get home. Block his ass.
Yeah, I mean,
I really
got
gotta-
yourself left, bro. I'm gonna be raising them kids.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's my thing right there. Just right. So the thing of it is, but that puts pressure back on you, right? Because now you got to take care of her super good. Because if you screw up,
Running over to my bestie's arms. That'd be wild. So my advice
Crazier
is
things have happened.
take better care of your girl. Your advice is his advice is stop lusting after her.
vocally, yeah.
Well,
So I want to say that coming into this, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if he was going to try to catch us in some traps, because, you know what I mean, you're expert level compared to us. I felt like this was a really good interview.
I feel like
this is the
I
kind of
had a
stuff
nice time.
I would like to do all the time.
I feel like, you come on and gave a good representation of yourself, and
Absolutely.
motherfuckers would be like, yeah, okay, well, he's not just some dickhead that gets on there and fucking post about fucking whatever wild shit that people are mad about. Yeah, someone else was commenting a minute ago talking about, why is he making fake articles about my husband? He might not like your fucking husband. No, I'm just joking.
That's what the cops told him.
Yeah. He's you can't knock him anyways. Like, people, listen, he's getting paid off of y'all's bullshit.
Actually, I lost 16,000.
Okay. Well,
I'm paying
he's paying for y'all to hate
for the
him.
privilege
Yeah,
of being hated. Yes.
Yeah, he's paying for you guys to hate him. But thank you for coming on, man.
But this is the best year we've had. This is the least I've lost.
Next year, maybe you only lose like
we
$4
might
grand.
make that dollar.
I'm gonna give you a piece of advice now.
All right.
They say you got to go through hell to get to heaven.
Yeah.
That was it. That was my advice.
Oh, right. Which is like my grandpa always used to say.
You might be losing out on money now, but you're seeing progression of you starting not to lose as much. That's what I'm saying.
It's coming up, but and a thing of having the working capital and some of that is sometimes it puts people out of the what could have made somebody that had all the talent, everything possible to be successful, but they didn't have or budget or whatever for that interim working capital. And that goes back to seeing the goal. They didn't realize the hashtags and the gravity that those hashtags bring. And so if you're not prepared, right, you don't have on your cleats, you don't have on your helmet, you're not carrying a damn ball, then you're never going to get to the goal. So you have to have that. And if there was anybody out there that's of the entrepreneurial spirit, having operating capital and being able to sustain yourself, because you are literally the last person that gets paid. And if it's not there, it ain't. What are you going to do? It ain't there.
The last two, just quickly, what you just said applies to me. The last 2 years of my life have been the worst 2 years of my life because I ran a business, lost tons of money, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know what I mean? I didn't have the money behind me. I thought I had a little bit of money. I thought that was a lot of money to me.
Right.
It wasn't nowhere close to enough money.
Right.
So start small, don't jump.
It's one of those things where you recognize the goal, you know what you wanted it to be, but we forgot about the hash marks in between and the importance of the first down, or what are you going to do on the fourth down, and then you still have the whole 10 yards to go. So it's hard. 75% of the businesses fail, and of the ones that succeed, 5 years later, 75% of those fail. So it is very hard.
I think it was the best thing for me as an entrepreneur, though, because I went, like I'm telling you, it's been a rough couple years because of that. But I think that I won't make any of those mistakes again. Like, learning the hard way is the best way to learn.
Well, I was saying, my grandpa used to say, don't let the same dog bite you twice. All right? So you make the mistake. And another thing he used to say is, every time you get an education, it costs you money. So whether it's you paid for a class or you screwed up in life, when you learn a real true lesson, it's going to cost you actual money. So don't let the dog bite you twice, and every lesson you learn is going to cost you money. And those come from my grandfather, who worked at the steel mill and told me 40 years ago, and it still applies now.
Absolutely. I took a lesson from this.
Yeah.
A couple lessons. This was great. Well, everybody, watch Scioto County Daily News.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Well, subscribe to it.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe.
Watch for the merch coming out.
You got merch coming up?
No, I'm plugging you guys, because by the time people's going to watch this on replay.
I'm ready to get some fucking merch, Greg.
Yeah.
Me too.
We got some actually other shit coming out. Gregory's got some partnerships coming out. Yeah, we can't talk about those yet, but we got some partnerships. Shout out to us, because we're doing better than you. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Gotta end it like that.
Yeah, but anyways, though, you'll have a good night, good day, whatever you're doing right now. Sleep with your wives. Tell her Ricky thought of her. Love y'all. Bye.
BT TV.